Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, our production with Gorcom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. And with us today, happy to have him back because he's hitting it out of the park, is Russ Rossi, President and CEO of Quizam Media, trades in Canada under QQ, and for our friends in the US, QQQFF. For those new to the story, Cannabis, Quantum One Cannabis is their wholly owned subsidiary that in the past 18 months has done nothing short of just blowing up. They've opened stores in North Vancouver, Vernon, Grand Forks, on and on. Imminent opening of their 6th store in Flagship, Oakridge. 4 additional stores are in development, 2 that have leases, 2 that are undisclosed. We're going to talk about why those are so secret, but what that's all done in terms of performance, revenue, annual revenue, $4 million versus $800,000 last year. That's 5x. And they just put out their Q1 revenue, $1.6 million versus $350,000, 4.5x. That's growth you got to be happy about. Russ, welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, George. You talking to me? George, fantastic. Good to see you again. Always great to update what we're doing for your great audience. And it's fantastic to be here in Vancouver. And how are you today?
I'm good because I'm a shareholder and I'm ecstatic about this kind of growth. And I know that cannabis is kind of taking a back seat a little bit. You know, people are trying to separate out the winners. You know, Georgecom Cannabis, who is putting out press releases just for the hype, versus the real companies. And you guys are obviously the real. Before we get to the details, man, how good do you guys feel on an annual basis on the first quarter to be delivering this kind of growth?
I mean, we're super excited. I mean, we've got a great retail play. All the things we talked about in the last interview have come true. We've got a great team. We've got a great system. Our branding has come into play, sort of like the Miami Vice, bright, truthful, knowledgeable customer service that we give. And we have been super, super blessed to have all of the things fall in place. And I find that, you know, the harder we work, the luckier we get. There's always hard work. There's always dedication to detail, and we have a great following. Our customers keep coming back. Our all-inclusive hiring policy, I think, has paid off. Our display mode, the way we show all of our products, that's paid off. I think we have great team spirit. I think we have great revenue growth, and I don't know what else. I mean, it's checking all the boxes. When I look at what a company should be in terms of fantasy land to be fantastic, we're hitting it. So we're
it might have been a shorter interview if I just asked what's going wrong.
Exactly. I'll give you the short list. Okay. What's going wrong? Okay.
Hey, and the great thing is this. The great thing is this. You've accomplished this, and you haven't. Your Oakridge location, your flagship, isn't open yet, and you got 4 more that are right there. So I know you can't give projections, but can we expect this kind of growth for this fiscal year as well?
Yeah. I mean, we're projecting. As I said, the Cannabis Street, which we'll talk about in a second, okay, but the Cannabis Street is pretty significant. There's a $5 billion complex development going up all around it. We're the only store within a mile, and it's one of the largest arteries in Vancouver in terms of access in and out of Vancouver to the airport. It was directly across from the largest liquor store in British Columbia. I mean, BC spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in research figuring out what is the best place for the largest, as a matter of fact, head office liquor store for all of BC. It handles everything: distribution branch, visitors, people that have. I mean, I go there as well. But, you know, I like high quality wine. It has an incredible wine selection. So we're right across the street. So you walk out of the liquor store, and there we are. And a highly coveted location. It took us a long time to find it. We had to spend a bit of money to get it, and we had to do a lot of work to secure it. We have it now, all the licenses. There's lots of bureaucracy involved. But with that flagship, if any of our other stores are an indication, and there's no reason they shouldn't be, I think very easily another 5 times increase, if not 6 or 7.
Just as a result of that store, or an additional the other 4, 2 that are under lease, and 2 that you're not disclosing details of yet? Or is that just from the flagship?
That's just from that store. Okay. And if we do other stores, then we're going to be looking at very, very easily 25. So yeah, we'd be looking at easily 6 or 7 times revenue.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even say, you know, usually, I'm pretty quick on this stuff, but 6 to 7x after you've had.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand. If you look at our
spectacular, man.
our North Van store, some days does more than 20,000 a day. So do the math. And this is going to dwarf the North Van.
What is about your stores? I know you kind of went through a list there, but what do you think is the big part of why your store is doing so well? Because I see stores everywhere and some look rickety and raggedy, and if they're lucky to get walk-in traffic, is it the look? Is it the customer service that you guys have?
I think there's a few factors. Okay. And one of the things we took a chance on, and it paid off, is that when all these cannabis stores were opening right across the nation, the classic cannabis store opened up kind of like how the Starbucks, a lot of wood, a lot of brick, very earthy, a tree in there, all the cannabis behind the counters, display videos, modern technology. And we thought, you know what? If we do that like everyone else has, we're not going to stand out. Let's take a chance. Let's roll the dice and try something a little bit different. And we went with a different approach, almost pharmaceutical. So all white, neon like Miami Vice. We brought the jewelry cases out. I mean, at every one of our stores, well, I shouldn't say the number, but tens of thousands of dollars of product is sitting there in the jewelry cases. You can browse. You can see all the different products. You can see, you can talk to the reps, and we have little display panels that tell the content, the purity, how much THC, how much CBD. So the display factor is very unique. Not a lot of stores have that. Okay, so we have that. Number two, we hired veteran managers that have experience in the industry. In the old days, it was kind of maybe a black market industry, but of course they can't have criminal records, they can't have any hazy past because it wouldn't be allowed. But the people that are managing these stores have a lot of knowledge about cannabis and THC. Now we know we're not allowed to give advice in terms of medical advice because we are recreational, but it's nice to walk in there and have some knowledge from the staff in terms of, what product do you recommend? What's popular? What's the difference between A and B? And we have that, right? And then finally, we've had a super, super inclusive hiring policy. Okay, we're super friendly, with the LGBT community. We have we hire all races, all creeds, all colors, everything, and we try to be super, super inclusive.
Especially in a city like Vancouver, you've got to be.
You have to be, and then we even find that we had in North Vancouver. There's a large Muslim community that comes in all the time. So we made sure that we had, we have a Muslim employee who speaks fluent Farsi and fluent Arabic, right? So sometimes some of these new immigrants or people that are in that aren't as comfortable with English, they could speak Arabic or Farsi. We have French speaking, right? We have Spanish speaking. So we try to be all inclusive with a super, super hip staff, positive, customer service. And people just feel good about it. So you end up kind of retaining the customers in terms, it becomes like a community. So I think that's what we're doing right. And those are the things that we, in addition to, the common factors of retail is we have, a good aggressive, competitive price point. We have a good selection. No quibble return policy. So all these things, that's the standard winning recipe for a good retail. But on top of that, you have to go the extra mile, which I think we're doing. And then now with BC introducing a delivery, we have a delivery squad that's giving the best delivery service in the Lower Mainland. We guarantee delivery within the hour. Our average delivery time is 16 minutes. We charge
talk to us a little bit about delivery squad.
Well, the delivery was, so we basically we deliver immediately per order. Our average delivery time is 16 minutes.
How are you able to do that? If you get
we have guys on guard. We use helicopters and jets in the military. No,
I love it. And drones.
No drones yet. No, we have a delivery guy on standby right there. As soon as the order comes in, bam, it's all electronic. It's served up, and we're delivering around the area of the store, which is like probably 2-3 square miles or whatever the radius is. North Vancouver is a little bit particular because we have 2 bridges in Vancouver and getting back and forth off the bridge, so we can't deliver Vancouver right now proper. But with Cambie, which is absolutely centrally located for Vancouver, it couldn't be better. We'll be handling all of Vancouver. So with our North Van position and with our spring pad off of Cambie, we'll be giving full delivery service all of Vancouver in 16 minutes, free delivery, any charge you want, whether it's $10, whether it's $500, free delivery in 16 minutes. You can't beat it.
I got to tell you, that's unbelievable because that's real data driven, right? You can't just pick 60 minutes out of the air. And you
16, not 60, 16.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah,
sorry, that's the Greek in me, right? That mumbles the numbers sometimes. But aside those 16 minutes, man, I mean,
By the way,
that's,
no, hey, that's the average. I mean, some deliveries in 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. I mean, when we started delivering this, when this first happened, people were coming out of the shower. They felt like, you know, we had a housewife walk out of the her condo saying, "Geez, I just hung up the phone. Where'd you come from?" Right? Look at our lightning bolt, which is our logo. Okay, Quizam delivery in a flash, lightning speed.
we got to see video on that. If you haven't got it, it'd be great for all the shareholders to see video on that, just to see the
What,
vehicle.
the housewife coming out of the shower? That's a different channel, buddy.
That's
Different channel.
that's a Gorecom X, comes out after midnight. But for the videos,
Yeah.
for these interviews, it'd be great to see the vehicles, man. It would just be great to see them in action, which would be
Okay, let's do that. Let's get some videos. Let's show you. And maybe,
I'm not kidding. Let's do a ride
let's,
along.
let's interview. We'll interview a couple of the recipients.
I was gonna say, if we can do a ride along, like you guys there, obviously we're in Toronto, but you guys do a ride along, go out, talk to, that would be fantastic.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Let's do it. That's
because it's innovative, right?
Yeah.
I love hearing ideas like that.
Yeah. Good,
By the way, I'm
good,
going to put you on the spot on Zoom. You can't get off, so I'm going to put you right on the spot with your inclusive policy. You have any Greeks in the store?
You know what?
Russ, you're going to get a complaint from the National
Well, no.
Greek
Listen, we have
Cannabis Heritage Foundation.
we have an IQ requirement, and so as soon as we can find one that can meet that bar, then we will.
Man, you know
Of
what?
course, we got some Greeks. Okay.
All Greeks are about to own your company.
100%. We love the Greeks. Look at my background's Italian. You're joking me? We're like paisan. We're like brothers. I mean, we're just.
I love you again. All right, you know what? You're right.
100%. Right.
I lost my head there.
And we got two. So matter of fact, Christmas party this year is at a big Greek restaurant. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm happy.
100%.
Call off the dogs. No Greeks.
As we
no
say
Greek,
in Italy,
outrage on
cente per
Twitter.
cento, 100%. Okay.
No Greek outrage on Twitter. I promise.
Everything is Greek and Italian food here. Greek and
Let's talk about let's talk a little bit about the two stores that you've got under lease. And I'm a little curious about the two stores that you can't really talk about right now. But the oxymoron is, I'm going to try and ask you, well, why can't you talk about them? But what can you shed some color there on?
Okay, so these stores are like, I mean, some of the BC has have different rules than Ontario. Okay, so BC has a lot of requirements as to where you can open a store. Some of the communities, some of the cities don't even allow cannabis yet. And if you do have a store, you can't open up within like 400 meters of a school or of another store and so on. So it's not like Ontario, you can open it wherever you want. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. So we anticipated two communities that are going to be coming online soon. One is West Van, which is kind of like the sister community to North Van, and the other one is Langley. Both those communities don't have allowances for cannabis yet. We found strategic locations for those, and we've got 10-year leases on those locations. Incidentally, we do have penalties to get out if we feel that at some point it's not going to happen and we want to stop paying the rent. But we have improved, and we've rented an area in West Van, a location in Langley. West Van now has come to the table, and we have been going through a series of meetings and presentations to the council. The last one was about 2 weeks ago on Monday, 2 weeks ago yesterday. And we were now on the list of the candidates. They're going to pick one of the 6. We're one of them. And we have to give a presentation on December 15th to West Van City Council.
All right, so you may not get that location.
We may not get it. We may not. It's a bit of a roll of the dice, right? We think that we have a good chance because of our pedigree, our experience. They have actually City Council. The mayor came by the North Van store to see how we're operating. So we do have their attention, and we're the only one operating in that 6 on the North Shore already, which is the North Shore West Van, same thing, similar thing. So, you know, we've done this before. That's how we got North Vancouver. We had to go through a series of presentations and win the council over.
And the more you guys win, the easier it is to win the next one.
100%. So that's one which we think will be a very, very big player. Probably not as busy as North Van, but for sure 3/4 as busy. And remember, North Van's off the charts. So even if you're
they can't all be flagships. Right?
Even if you're 20%, even if you're 20% of the revenue of North Van, you've got a winning store. Okay, so we're like really, really strong in North Van. And Langley now, the council is considering cannabis, but they haven't okayed it yet. So we're still, we're still in the early stages of the council decision. We think we should hear something positive about Langley. I'm thinking beginning of next year, like next quarter, January, February, March, because they are talking about it. They see the revenue from taxes. They see the benefit of employment. So I'd be shocked if they don't come up with a positive a recommendation in early next year, but we'll see. That's up to them. Okay.
Well, it's great that you're in the mix, though. I love the fact that you guys are
Yeah.
constantly looking for new locations, and then you've got two that you're not even talking about.
Two, we're in
Is that
negotiation. We're in negotiation with two others in Vancouver right now. We have non-disclosures. We can't discuss them. These are existing locations with licenses. One is operational, one is not.
Okay, so these are already okay. Got it.
Yeah, they're 100%. So these are ones that we'd be purchasing, and we are talking about the terms of purchase right now. I mean, in fact, we had to purchase the Cambie one. We had to, we bought the license from an operator in Cambie that wasn't operating yet, and then we ingeniously, by buying out the lease on the main floor, moved it to the top floor, and then went through all of the licensing to get it there. So we've done this before, but it's expensive to buy these, much less expensive to have them operating, have the leases in place already. That's why we took Langley in West Vancouver, because it wouldn't be that expensive to open them up because we already have the leases in place, right? So the two in Vancouver we're negotiating on right now, and once we've pretty have all hands on deck right now for Cambie. We've got all the licenses. We're now filling full of stock, setting up the POS systems, getting the cannabis inspector in. So we're kind of like we're very, very busy getting that open, which should be within the next 9 days now. Our target is November 10th, and then we will turn our focus to the two that we're negotiating on. Okay, and I should also mention that just happened recently is our North Van location. The adjacent suite became available, and we have now put an offer in our negotiations with expanding North Van to.
Wow, that's great. That is that's a great bonus stroke of luck there.
Right next door. It'd be right next door.
Any chance you made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and that's why they
100% yes, and that's why there's now a missing horse at the raceway.
But that's a great bonus. I mean, that's to have an existing location, have space open up right beside it. Because are there any limitations that, by the way? I mean, you can just I know it's a real tangent discussion, but if you have your neighbors, eventually going out of business because it's retail, it's COVID, and maybe they're selling widgets and those are out of favor now, you can easily just take those spaces because it's considered the same license.
Yeah, well, what we did is when we applied for the development permit and the licensing in Vancouver, we were strategic. Rather than just select a suite, we selected the whole building, which is one block. So we actually got a blessing for the whole building, 820 Marine Drive.
Wow.
And there's 5 suites in there. We actually have the smallest one right now, but because the city has already approved that whole building, we now can hop around to different suites. We've already been through that with the city. So yes, we can. And this is directly adjacent. We actually share a wall, which means we have the choice of either blowing down the wall and making it like a superstore, or just moving next door, and leasing out our existing. So it's been that's a great bonus for us, and we're looking forward to that as well. So we'd have one of the largest superstore cannabis stores in Vancouver.
What's the exit strategy for you guys, Russ? Is it create such a powerful foothold in Vancouver / British Columbia that you just become this invaluable gem to a much bigger company that gives you a premium and a buyout? Or do you say, George, we want to get as strong as we can in Vancouver, but spots are running out, and then we want to go across the country?
I think, well, you know what? I mean, we're looking at both those options. We're keeping our options open right now. The first one, obviously, is very, very, very is very attractive and possible. And I think that's going to be fed by what happens in the U.S. If they go federally legal in the U.S., then it's going to open up the doors for several highly financed public companies that are going to want to expand aggressively. Okay. And something that could play into that is that we have an association of other cannabis stores. So I work with 4 other cannabis chains in Vancouver. We're very friendly. We share information. The owners are actually my friends, but together we have 20 stores, okay, 25 stores. We just talk and share ideas to try to get better with our service. But we're the only public one of all of these. So that, and I've raised this before, and they're absolutely receptive. But if there was ever, we could very, very easily and quickly do a roll up. Let's say.
I was going to say a nice consolidation play.
We could be 20 stores.
Yeah.
In 4 months, and then sell it to a U.S. company at a super premium, right? So that's a possibility. But meanwhile, because profits are strong, revenues are growing. And let's just say, if month by month, our revenues keep growing. You
just keep running a great business for the foreseeable future. Collect cash, maybe start paying out some small dividends to shareholders.
Exactly.
Why
Yeah.
not?
I mean, we've talked about that. That's on the board as well. The directors have talked about being one of the first cannabis companies to pay dividends. Okay.
And I didn't know that, right? I mean, I just thought about that as my
Yeah.
business.
No. We've been thinking about that because it is starting to cash flow. I like really serious cash flow, and it's growing. And even our existing stores have been open. Our revenues are 30% over last year, like in terms of the existing stores. And I think that we owe that to two things. Number one is the customer service and the experience that we told you about. They keep our customers coming back. But number two, I think we're slowly and steadily degrading the black market. People are switching over to the white market from the black market. We're just more convenient, we're cleaner, we're consistent. Sometimes it might be a bit pricier, but it's just easier to do. You walk into the store anytime, get what you want, have it delivered, rather than calling up your dealer, getting some kind of mystery weed. And,
I was about to say that I don't smoke. I don't do it, not because I just never have. But I got to tell you, if I did, I would definitely pay 10% more to know I've got, a regulated product versus what the hell did I get?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the old days. You got a special occasion. You want to get a nice bottle of vodka. Are you going to go to your little bootlegger that has a still in his basement and buy some mystery vodka, or are you going to go and get a nice bottle of Grey Goose? Okay, it's simple. We pay a premium for something that looks good, that feels good, and we know has been tested and is tried and true and is safe.
Russ, congratulations, man. I mean, amazing. I usually end with, so what should we look forward to? But we already know you got two leases that are in discussion with government right now. You've got two undisclosed locations that are possible purchase. So I guess what we have to say is you might be back tomorrow, you might be back in 2 weeks, but you're going to be back because it sounds like there's more going on. But for today, we'll celebrate the fact that you guys are knocking it out of the park, growing. And by the way, for everybody at home, cannabis, the cannabis markets, stock market, the stocks have definitely, come off because a lot of investors are now saying, show me the money. And they want to separate George Com Cannabis from, Quizam and Quantum One. And that's what's happening. And in my opinion, cannabis is going to have an amazing 2022 because the market this year, tax law selling, I think will pretty much end companies that are not real and don't have the real goods. And then we're going to move on. And Russ, as a shareholder, I'm happy with what you guys are doing. Glad to wait for the growth to come because it's already happening.
Perfect. Beautiful. If you want to look at what a man's going to do, just look at what he did. And as you continue to see our quarters and our yearlies increase exponentially, or at least, by 4x, 5x, I think the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah. And for everybody at home, look, I'm going to recap it. Q3, $1.3 million in revenue, up 672%. The annual revenue, 4 million versus 800,000, up 5x. And then Q1 revenue, 1.605 versus 350,000, up 4.5x. That's 3 quarters in a row. So you can't say there's an outlier quarter. Oh, this quarter just happened to have some good stuff happen to it. That's 3 quarters in a row of monster growth. If you guys can keep it up, Russ, we're all going to win. We're rooting for you. Thanks for joining us today, buddy.
Thanks, George. Good to see you.
To everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Russ Rossi, President and CEO of Quizam Media with Quantum One Cannabis as a wholly owned subsidiary, trades in Canada under QQ, and for our friends in the US, QQQFF. Now's the time for you to do your due diligence. If you've seen the headlines or if you're going to see the video headline, 2 ways to do that. Get to Agoracom, do your first level due diligence there, and then head over to the company's website, do your deep dive due diligence. Because if you believe in the future of cannabis, and I don't know why you wouldn't, then you've got to take that sector seriously. And if you were looking for a company or companies that are performing, I already read out the numbers for you. It's hard to argue, but only you can make that decision. Just don't tell me 12 months from now, guys, that we didn't tell you so because we told you so today. Have a great day. See you next time.
Thanks, George.
Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.